Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of BellyUpSports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
The first place, LAFC, the only matchup to go to 3 games. LAFC beating the 8th place Vancouver Whitecaps in 3 games. It was a home team won their home matches was basically what it was. But how confident are you in LAFC right now? Like, if you had to give them a good percentage of them going back to the MLS Cup, like, what is that percentage?
I'll probably say 65%.
I'm kind of around that number as well.
Yeah.
I kind of,
Yeah.
because, they got exposed. I don't know what's going on with this attack. You'd think this attack would have been an explosion, especially with the name. I guess especially when you have Denny Bouanga. At the end of the day, when you have a guy like Denny Bouanga, you expect to have fireworks, especially when then you add, Olivier Giroud into that mix and Bogusz. So you think, oh man, this team is going to be firing all cylinders. And I mean, 2-1, you lose 3-0 and then a 1-0 victory. Which, I mean, playoffs, it doesn't really matter how you do it as long as you get the win. But I mean, when are we going to see them play like LAFC?
And I think I probably even told the other guys that follow LAFC where Giroud was never going to be the guy that lit on fire the league the moment he came in. He's like a lot of, the utility player that, will score and have the right hold for the flanks players to make their magic. And I think since he came in so late in the season, I think they're still trying to work the kinks for how their offense should be looking like. For me, they'll probably be more scarier after having a regular offseason and having these guys, know each other tendencies. So I think that's why I had almost that 65% because they're still trying to figure things out with Giroud. Velas is like almost non-existent. Even though he's on the bench on the team, but not really playing. So I think for me, they're still trying to figure themselves out in the playoffs for their offense versus all the other teams. Their offense are ready for the playoffs. But not to discredit Vancouver. Vancouver is also a fast, high-scoring team. So it's not like LA was going to be able to walk over them with, a high-pressing offense because a quick counter and then Vancouver is going to beat you with 3 players.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point. And I think that, to me, is probably like their Achilles heel, which, I mean, when it comes to it, when I see their high press, there's no other team that does it as well as LAFC does.
Right.
But all it takes is that team that knows how to expose that high press, and you get a 3-0 victory like Vancouver did in Game 2. So I think that there's definitely a solution to how they attack. But I do give props to LAFC. They do that high press fairly well, and they become very annoying when you have to deal with that. So I mean, I don't think anybody had doubts about LAFC. I think Vancouver would have been a great dark horse team in this playoff. I think the way they play, I didn't expect them to win the MLS Cup this year, but I mean, it's one of those teams that could go on a run, and I can't wait to see how they, move, what they do next year and try to build from this. Hopefully, they build from it and not start shipping some players away because I think
hopefully they ship all of them away from where we stand.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, and I think the one of the shift for those 2 teams, I think it was who was going to be seeded the highest, and we'll have the more home games. That's where it pretty much would have determined, because I think if Vancouver would have started at home first, and then had their third game at home again, I'm wondering if that would have been different.
Yeah, I think so too. I think LAFC has a fortress, and I mean that is a home field advantage. So I think, yeah, you're right about that.